Alright, hello and welcome back. After having learned about the functions in Python, as an example, we are going to recreate the game of Wordle in this video. I know it's hard to believe, but actually with the knowledge you've gained up till now in this course, you'll be able to create your own clone of the game Wordle. A little bit simpler, but yeah, you'll be able to do it. Alright, for those of you that don't know Wordle, the game of Wordle works like this. First off, the game chooses a random 5-letter word of English. Let's say the chosen word is green in this example, and then it prompts the user to guess the chosen word. Let's say in the first try, our user guesses trace. Alright? Then the game evaluates the guess of the user and gives some hints towards the correct answer. Now, the hint that it gives is color-coded and it goes like this. The R will be marked green because it is the right letter and at the right place as the chosen word. R is the second letter, and in the chosen letter or in the guessed letter, R is also the second letter, and that's why it's marked as green here. Now, there is an E in green, at least one E in green, but it's not in the same place as it is in trace. That's why it's marked yellow. And the rest of the letters are not existent in green. That's why they're not marked anything. Okay? And that's pretty much how the game works. It prompts the user again to guess again with the new information that he's gotten about the word. Let's say this time user chooses greed. And the first 4 letters of greed and green are the same letters. And that's why the first 4 letters will be marked green. And in the next guess, user guesses green. And green is all correct. And it says congrats, you've guessed the word correctly. Now to keep things simple, we're not going to work with color codings, we're going to use some letter codings instead. Okay, so the green is going to be C for us as correct. The yellow is going to be I as the letter is in the correct answer. And the gray will be the N as in not in, or not in the correct answer. Alright? At this point, I want to encourage you to pause the video and try to implement this program on your own. It's way simpler than you think, and I think you'll be able to get it. Now I'm going to head over to PyCharm and implement this program. Alright, so I'm in PyCharm and I've created a new project for our Wordle program, and the first thing that I'm thinking about is that I can't start doing anything without having a set of words, of 5-letter words of the English language. That's why I've Googled 5-letter words in English, and the first thing that came up is from 7esl.com, and in here they've given a good list of 5-letter words of English. I'm gonna grab all of them, I'm gonna copy them, and you can see some of the lines in between are not 5-letter words or something else, but we'll handle that later. I'm gonna just grab all of that, I'm gonna copy that, I'm gonna paste that onto our project folder. Alright, this is the project for this video that I'm working on, and I'm gonna go to Python project coding. In here I'm going to use the terminal. Alright, and I'm gonna paste what I've copied right here using Excel -B, and I'm gonna put that into a file. Let's call that file just words. Okay, simple and easy, and it should be done. Let's check it out. Let's see, let's cat words. And there you go. All of these words are copied and they're in that file. Okay, now let's go back to PyCharm. And in here, the first thing that I'm thinking of is that we need to write a function to read that file. Okay, we're gonna read that file and create a list of the words in that file. And I know that every word is separated in a separate line. So I just have to put every content of every line onto a single cell in my list. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and create a function. Let's say def, and let's call that function load words from file. Okay, and it's gonna get the path as in string. And I'm gonna just load the words. Now the way that works in Python is as follows. We're gonna write with, okay, open, and we're gonna open path, and I'm gonna give it also as a second argument. I'm gonna give it R. I'm gonna tell you in a second what all that means. With open as file. Okay? So now what this line does is that it uses this prompt. This is the built-in function of Python for opening a file. Okay? Just from the certain path of your operating system. Okay? I say with all of this as file. It means that in the following block, whenever I say file, okay, I mean the result of this. Okay? It's that easy. It's really that easy. Now, what I'm going to do in this block is that I'm going to go ahead and iterate over the file. Okay? When I say iterate over it, it'll automatically iterate over the lines of it. Okay? So I say for line in file. Okay? I'm going to just iterate over the lines of the file. Okay? For each of those, I'm going to put them in a certain list. Okay? So let's create my list. First of all, let's say words. Okay? That's going to be my list. And let that be equal to an empty list. Okay? Very easy. Now, for lines in file. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and say if, or actually I'm going to first strip that line. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and say stripped line. Okay? Is equal to line.strip. Now, what this does is that it just cuts all the extra stuff that are created by the operating system in every line to know that there's going to be a next line and so on. All of those stuff are cut away directly. Okay, we're going to need that because we're only working with words here. Okay, all right. Next up, we're going to check to see if that line, or that stripped line rather, is now 5 letters long. All right. So I'm going to say if the len of strip line is equal to 5, then I want to add that strip line into my words. Okay, so I'm going to say words dot append, and I'm going to say strip line, right? Easy as that. And now my list is going to be created correctly. Okay, and then of course I'm going to return the words. All right. So let's check it out to see if this method works, if this function rather works. And to check that, I'm just going to go here and grab the path of this file. Okay, and I'm gonna say print, and I'm gonna say load words from file, and I'm gonna give it this. Okay, now in Python, every backslash, if you're using Windows like me, every backslash should be a double backslash, just so it doesn't mix it up with the other stuff that it needs, okay? So I'm gonna just say double backslash, right? Double backslash right here, and right here. So let's check it out, see if it works. All right, now as you can see, it has printed out a long list of a lot of 5-letter words that were in my file, that I've copied into the file. So it's just that easy, okay? Next up, I'm gonna create a function to choose a random word from that file, from that path. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say, create a new function, say choose word, all right? And again, this is going to work with path. Okay, it's gonna get a path as an input. And we're actually gonna load words first. Okay, let's say words. That gives us a list, right? Words equals load words from file, from that path that you got. Okay. And now I'm going to choose a random index. Okay, I'm going to say index equals, and the way that we can create a random number in Python goes like this. Say random dot rand int. Okay, just gives us a random integer, and as you can see, PyCharm has actually completed it for me and also imported the library random. Okay, it's a built-in library from Python to create random numbers. Okay, random integers. Now, I'm going to give it from which integer to which integer the number can be generated. It's going to be from 0 to however long the list is. Okay, so I'm going to say len of words. Okay, easy as that. And then I'm going to return words at that random index that I've generated. Okay, easy as that. And that's it. Okay, that's going to choose the word for me. Next up, I want to create a function to see how actually my my game will be running. Okay, so I'm going to say play Wordle. Okay, it's just a play Wordle, and it also works with a path. Let's say, okay, it gets the path already. And now what it does is that it chooses a word. Okay, let's say word equals choose word from this path. Okay, so it chooses a word from that operating system path that you give it. Our word is chosen. Now, next up, we are going to get the user input. All right, we're going to prompt the user to enter or guess the word. Right? The way that we do that, you know it already. We're gonna first up say chosen word. Okay, chosen word. Okay, let that first off be equal to an empty string, and we say while. We know that in the first try it's always going to be the case, but we say while that chosen word is not equal to word, we are going to play, right? And the playing is always going to be setting the chosen word as the input, all right, from the user. And we are going to prompt the user to say, guess the chosen word. All right. It's going to be the message that we're going to show for our prompts. Okay. And then we are going to evaluate their given word. And later on, I'm going to create how the evaluate works. Okay. But for now, let's say it works like this. Say it evaluates between the word. Okay, the word that is chosen by the game and the chosen word. Okay, the chosen word by the user. Okay, it's gonna evaluate that, and it's gonna keep on evaluating that until it's done, until the chosen word and the word are the same thing. And when it's done, it's just gonna say print congrats. Well, I'll put that in a string. Congrats. Your guess was correct. Okay? Your guess was correct. And that's pretty much how the program should work. Now, next up, we are going to create this evaluate method or this evaluate function. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say def evaluate. And the way that it should work is that it should input word and chosen word. Okay, gets the two of those, and it does the evaluation. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do in the evaluation is that I'm going to check to see if the chosen word is 5 letters long, because otherwise I don't even need to do the evaluation. I know that the chosen word won't be working. So I'm going to say if the length of chosen word is not equal to 5, then we are going to print the entered word is not 5 letters long. Okay, and we're gonna return. Otherwise, we're gonna actually do the actual evaluation. Now, the way that I'm gonna do that, there are many ways to do it, but the way that I'm gonna do that is then I'm going to create a list of 5 characters. I'm going to say, I'm going to call it evaluation map. So I'm going to say eval map. All right, I'm going to create a list for it. And it's going to have 5 characters in it. Okay, so first character, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So I do it 5 letters long because every word that we're going to work with has only 5 letters. I'm going to put N's everywhere. All right. Remember, we said N is for not in. Okay. So I'm going to say N everywhere. And then I'm going to change that if there is anything good in the chosen word. So I'm going to say for letter index, all right, in range of 0 to 5. Okay, remember, everything that we have is only 5 letters long, so I know exactly how many iterations do I need. It's going to be 5 iterations, okay? So I'm going to say if the chosen word, right, at a letter index, okay, if chosen word at letter index was equal to word at letter index, then I'm gonna say eval map at that very same letter index must be equal to a C. All right, so I'm gonna check to see if the chosen word for each index, okay, I'm gonna see if the chosen word is the same as the word that we're gonna look for. That is obviously correct, all right? That's a green. I'm gonna say C for correct. Okay, now else, if that wasn't true, then elif the chosen word at letter index was existent in Word, right? So just use the in of Python. It's a built-in thing that checks to see if that letter is existent in that word. Then I'm gonna say eval map at letter index is gonna be equal to a I, right? For in, okay? And that's pretty much it. That is gonna fill up that eval map for me correctly. And then I'm gonna just print the evaluation map, okay? Now I need a function to print that properly to make it user-friendly, right? So I'm gonna say for now, print eval map, right? Or print eval for print evaluation. And what we'll need in that is gonna be the chosen word actually, and the evaluation map. We're gonna pass the two of those in, and now I'm gonna create this print eval map function. So in here, I'm gonna say define print eval, and as the inputs, we're gonna get the chosen word and eval map. All right. Now I'm gonna specify how this print should work. All right, my strategy for this is that I'm gonna build a string. I'm gonna build a user-friendly string, and then I'm gonna print it. Okay, and the string that I'm gonna build is gonna look like this. All right, you should actually ignore the tag signs in the beginning. I want to put 10 spaces, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, 10 spaces. Then I'm gonna print the word that the user has typed in. For example, let's say they say green, G, space R, space E, space N, all in caps. And in the next line, I'm gonna again have 10 spaces. And then I'm gonna say, for example, C, 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 C. I'm just gonna put in whatever's in the evaluation map. Okay, so let's go ahead and build that string. Let's say the output string will look like this. I'm gonna name it out, and I'm gonna let that be equal to an empty string for the beginning. Okay, and then I'm gonna add stuff to the string. Okay, the first thing that I'm gonna add to the string is gonna be the following 10 spaces, right? Out plus equal the empty space, if I'm able to type that, times 10. All right, so 10 spaces. Then I'm gonna go ahead and say for letter in chosen word, I'm gonna go ahead and say out plus equal letter, and at the end and after each letter, I'm gonna say out plus equal an empty space, right? So it looks exactly like this, but there will be an extra empty space right here, okay? And then I'm gonna do the same thing in the next line as well, okay? So I'm gonna just actually copy this, okay? Do the spacing again 10 spaces, but this one is gonna be for each letter in eval map, all right? It's gonna do the same thing. And actually, oh yeah, between these two, I have to say that I want to go to the next line. So I'm going to say out plus equal the next line character. Okay, the slash and n means just go to the next line. All right, And this should pretty much be it. And of course, at the end, we are going to go ahead and print out, right? So this is pretty much it. There is nothing else that I can think of. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Let's see how it works. Oh yeah, there's something that I forgot. The input can be anything. It can be in lowercase or uppercase. Okay, so it's practical to make it all go to the uppercase. All right, you already know how to do that. I'm gonna try to find a good place to do it. Let's see here. When we read our letters, okay, when we read our words from our database, we can say that we want to make everything go to the uppercase. Okay, so we say here words that append strip line dot upper. All right, so everything just goes to the uppercase, and we can also change every input that the user gives in onto the uppercase. Okay, and how do we do that? Where do I do it so it's the best? I can actually make it happen right here. Okay, I can go ahead and say well, chosen word, right? In the evaluate, I can say chosen word equals chosen word dot upper. All right, just make it go to the uppercase, and it will then do the entire evaluation. And yeah, I think it'll work. So let's try it. Let's say, okay. Actually, if you take a look at this, if I go ahead and run this program right now, see, if I go ahead and run it, nothing will happen, all right? Because there are a whole bunch of function declarations, but I've never told my program where to start. The program is going to start after all of these declarations right here. And here, it's not specified what should happen. So I'm going to go ahead and say play Wordle, right? And I'm going to give it a path. For the path, let me just go ahead and grab the path of my database. I want to find it. It was stored right about here. Oh yeah, this is it. I want to copy the path of this, paste it right here, and yeah, again, do these. Every backslash should be two backslashes, because otherwise it won't know if it's a specific character or if it's an actual backslash. I'm gonna do double backslashes everywhere. And let's give it a try. Okay, it says guess the word. I'm gonna start with Amber. Okay, as you can see, the game is actually working. All right, it's working. It says Amber. Okay, A is not in the word it has chosen. M is in it. R is in the correct position. B and E are not in the word. So what's my next try gonna be? All right, as the next try, I'm gonna say, for example, cream. Okay, cream was also not true. Oh yeah, R should be the next one, but I didn't get anything out of cream other than R and M. Next word, I'm gonna try major. Okay, I got a lot of correct stuff from it. M in the beginning is correct. O and R at the end are also correct. So I'm gonna say minor as the next one. Let's hope this is right. Oh yeah, minor was right. All right, so because of some reason we're not breaking out of this loop. All of our inputs were in lowercase, and we did the changing onto the uppercase right here. So it did not affect the word in here. So when it tries to do this evaluation here to see if chosen word and word are the same thing, it's going to say no, they're not the same thing. Why? Because our chosen word was not in the uppercase. So better is that I do the change to upper right here. Okay, I'm going to say chosen word equals input to the uppercase, and then I can go ahead and delete this part. Okay, and now everything should work fine. These are minor mistakes that you could have, no problem with those. So let's go ahead and try to play this game again. I'm going to start with Amber, and there you go. There is an A and M in Amber in the word it's chosen, and there is an R in the end. Okay, so next word I want to try major. Major is all correct. There you can see I'm the king of this game, man. Congrats, your guess was correct, and it breaks out of the loop. Okay, so that's it. This is pretty much this game and we've recreated it. Of course, it doesn't have all of the functionalities that the original Wordle game has, but you can imagine those are also imagined to add. For example, you can only allow 6 tries. Right now, our tries are infinite, and you can do as many tries as you like, but you can add a counter in here, for example, in this part. You can add a counter to see how many tries have been done, and only allow 6 tries. You can also add another functionality, for example, to allow only the words that are in database as input. So when you do the input, you can check to see if they are in the database. And if they're not in database, you can say choose again. All right, it's actually pretty easy to do. So, but I'm gonna leave you at this, and I'm gonna leave adding those functionalities up to you. You can go ahead and play with it as you like. But this was my solve for creating Wordle, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a like and share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more. Let me play it again. Let's see. Amber's good starting word. Dude, this game's hard.